Hey guys, I am live, but I'm having difficulty fixing this camera up. Hang on just a second. Bear with me. All right, let's see if that works. Flip that around. Shoot. All right, hang on, guys. Bear with me. All right, I think I'm good. Let me get on my screen here and make sure everything's good so you guys can see me. Turn this down. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of this technical difficulty, but it will be resolved quickly. Give me just a few seconds here. All right, let's get to the live here. Okay, I think we're good to go. All right, welcome back to Live with Brink of Speed. I appreciate each and every one of you guys joining me today. If you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up and also leave me a comment. Let's see, can you guys hear me? Thank you for hitting that like button. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Please, please, please let me know if you can hear me. I'm trying my... Okay, cool. You guys can hear me just fine. Great. Awesome. That's the first test. Let me grab my little cheat sheet here that I printed up. And so, as you saw with the title and the thumbnail, I have some new Z06 news to discuss, and I wanted to do it live with you guys so we can actually have an open discussion about this. I want to make sure there's a bunch of people on here because I'm going to get right into the news. But real quick, before I get into that news, I want to ask you guys a question. How many of you out there are actually getting a first year Z06? And what specs are you guys going with? So out of all the people watching, I've got 78 people on right now. How many of you guys are actually getting a Z06 in the year 2022? Thank you very much for the super chat, Larry. I appreciate it. Let's see. Hugely appreciate that, Larry. That's awesome. Let me look at these comments here. Been following BOS for several years. Thank you, Nova. Let me get to everybody's comment here. Good evening, General Lee. Appreciate you joining me, Greg. Mark says, hey, buddy. Steve, Z it up, man. What's up, Aya Cohen? Great White North. What's up, brother? I don't want to say this wrong. I'm sorry. Already hit the like button. Thank you, Paul, Mark, Peter Carey. Let's see. I've got my coffee and chips, chocolate chips, that is. Let the movie begin. All right. Louise, Joseph, Mike. All you guys are saying you can hear me. Great. Loud and clear. Spill the tea. I love it. First at my dealership, Z06 3LZ in Canada. Depends on the pricing for sure. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we haven't gotten pricing from GM yet. That's a little bit annoying. But you know what? It is what it is. Anyway, so I think we've got enough people on here. I just want to get right into it. Man, my computer's being... Okay, there we go. So this is not official from GM. This is something that I actually was told by some inside information, actually an inside person within the, he doesn't work for GM, but he works for a company who supplies GM with parts. And I've mentioned this contact in the past, and he's given me some really good information on the Z06. He's been right about a few things. And before I brought this information to you, I actually made a phone call to John, who is a co-founder of the Mid-Engine Corvette Forum. And I asked him what he thought about this info, because John over there at the Mid-Engine Corvette Forum actually has a really good pulse on what's going on, because of the fact that he is really good friends with the plant manager and a bunch of the engineers over there in GM, or at GM. And so I wanted to verify things with him. And sometimes I'll do this, and he right away said that he felt like this information was correct about the Z06. And I didn't want to put this in a normal video, because this is, to me, this is information that is delicate to deal with. I wanted to be as gentle with this info as I could, because there's several of you, including myself, that are waiting patiently on this Z06, and we don't want to hear anything but great information. And this isn't great information, but it is info that needs to be talked about. And we need to come up with, you know, reasons why this has happened, and what we're going to do about it, and how everybody's going to be affected. So real quick before I say what it is, if you haven't smashed that thumbs up button, please help me out. Smash that thumbs up button. It really helps break the YouTube algorithms and helps the video out big time. So thank you. Welcome, 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 everybody, for joining. I really appreciate it. Here we go. This is the news that I was given today, or actually yesterday. The Z06 production has pretty much been predicted that it would be somewhere in the month of May that it would start. We know that the official production date for the 2023 Stingray is May 9th, and people weren't 100% sure, but they were pretty positive that the Z06 would either start that day or maybe a couple weeks after, and at the latest, the very beginning of June. But things have been talked about on the Mid-Engine Corvette Forum, and I actually talked about this in my last video, that we could be waiting till June or July for production to start, and then we may not have Z06 deliveries until sometime in August or September. Well, this gentleman says that we aren't even going to have Z06 production until August. So not June, not July, but August. So this was, again, this was news that I didn't want to hear. This was news that I knew none of you would want to hear. But it's something that needs to be, like I said, talked about amongst us. It's very delicate news. I don't ever want to bring you guys bad news. But I'm sure most of you are going to consider this as bad news. Now, again, this is not verified by GM, and I don't expect GM to verify this anytime soon. I would say that we probably won't get this information verified until maybe a month from now, or maybe the end of this month, because I think GM is going to eventually sometime in this month give us pricing. And when they do give us pricing for the new Z06, I think they'll tell us at that time that we have, you know, this information that we're going to tell you now about when the production is starting. And I think that's when they're going to let us know that it's not going to be till sometime in August. Now, hopefully things change, but we do know that the reason most likely for this change is, number one, computer chip problems. There is a huge problem with computer chips. I don't know if you remember, but in my last video where I discussed that, I talked about how Toyota had canceled 150,000 cars because of the computer shortage or the chip shortage. We also know that there are part shortages. We know there are aluminum shortages, metal shortages, all sorts of shortages. So I would be willing to bet that the reason for this, I don't want to use the term delay, because GM never promised us that we were going to get a Z06 on a certain date. They always said summer of 2022 when they came out and revealed the car. And we have until September 21st for that to qualify. That's the last day of summer, or actually the 20th is the last day of summer. The 21st is the first day of fall. So I'm going to go through some of these comments. I actually have 2 more topics that I want to discuss, and I'll tell you what they are. Number 1 is the captured test fleet vehicles that actually have started being seen. And number 2 is the carbon fiber wheel dilemma. So I'm going to discuss those 2 topics, but first of all, I want to get to your questions. And so I'm going to scroll back up and we're going to talk about some of these questions that people have. Some of you are talking about, oh, what's up, DZ? What's going on, man? Some of you on here have discussed about, you're on a list of 3 dealers here with a hardtop. I'm on a list with McMulcom. Mine will probably be a few years. First year likely, not sure on options, depend on pricing. Ordered, but dealer says next year. I'm keeping the 5.3 liter, okay, Chevy. Peter Carey says, I'm not actually getting one. Can I still stay here and watch? I'll be good. Absolutely, Peter. We want you on here for sure. Just for your comments. Let's see. I want a Stingray so bad. GT all-wheel drive. I think you're talking about the E-Ray. I'm getting one. Okay, let's go to some questions. So people have given me some really good builds here. HTC was the 07 package, likely red mist. Let's see. Are they using a magnesium transmission? I don't believe so. I'm pretty sure that was pretty much debunked back in October when they revealed the Z06. I'm like 99.9% sure that was debunked, so no, they're not. Let's see. Still just builds. Let's see. Here's some questions, I think. With everything going on in the world, the Z06 release date is the least. Yes, I agree. It is the least of everybody's worries, but it's not a worry. It's just news. It's just information that I think everybody would appreciate knowing, a heads up. That way you can kind of prepare for what's coming. I hope that this is wrong, but I don't believe it will be. I don't call the mid-engine Corvette forum guy too often, but when I do, it's important like this. And he wasn't hesitant at all to say that the info that I had given him was like 99.9% correct. So I highly doubt it's incorrect. Let's see. Anyone got contact for chips? Let's see. Thank you for the super chat, Nova. I really appreciate it. You're very welcome for this video. Will employee pricing be given for the Z06? Absolutely not. Do you think some of the options on constraint being held back for the Z06? Yes. I believe that carbon fiber is probably one of those options. I even have heard rumors that the carbon fiber wheels are going to be on constraint. And that's something that I'm going to discuss in this video. Tim, isn't that against GM's press release? I'm not sure what you mean about that, Will, or with that statement. Can you please further speak on that? I'm not sure what you mean. Do you think some of the options... Okay, that's what I already read. Sorry. I'm still waiting for the 2022 C8. Order went through February 7th. I ordered the Mag Ride, but they're saying yes. So Mag Ride, I'm glad you brought that up. Mag Ride is going to be on constraint. We all know that Z06s, 100% of them, 1LZ, 2LZ, 3LZ, get Mag Ride. So yes, that is going to be a problem, and that's maybe another reason why we might be waiting till August. All right, let's see what Greg says here. I've learned from my guy, Z06 production will start with mid-June. We've had that info for a while. My question is, if production were to start in August, will it be considered a 2023 or a 2024? Great question, Greg. Here's the thing. I think mid-June is not going to happen anymore. Sorry, I just don't think that's going to happen. As I said, the Mid-Engine Corvette Forum director, the co-founder, he doesn't make statements like this unless he's pretty much 100% sure. His earliest guess was July, and that was sometime in the middle to end of July, but not June. As far as August, if it does start in August, I still think they'll consider it a 2023, because look at how long they're building the 2022. Actually, no, that's not a good comparison. No, that is a good comparison. So they started the 2022 in 2021, and they're building it through this month. So I think that's what'll happen. I think it'll be the 2023 through the end of this year, and then through about April of next year, and then they'll switch to 2024. But great question. Dealer, I'm on the list in the beginning, said they would sell for MSRP. I was in there the other day, and now they're saying they're probably going to charge $20,000 over. Yes, this is despicable. Thank you, Tim, for this comment. I hate it. A lot of dealerships are doing this, and I absolutely hate it. It is not... there's no integrity in that at all. So it really, really drives me nuts that these dealers are taking advantage. They're short-sighting themselves, in my opinion. Let me know what you think about this statement in the comments, but they are truly short-sighting themselves. They're not thinking about the future at all. There are dealerships who have never charged over MSRP ever in the history of the dealership, and they're taking one car and they're ruining their reputation with that one car, the Z06. So they're going to lose a bunch of their loyal customers over one car. And then when all of this hype dies down on the C8, which it will in a few years, it's not going to be the same in the next 4 to 5 years. Those customers are never coming back to them. Those customers are gone. And they're going to lose all of that business that they used to get. Some of their best customers probably buy 30 to 40 cars from them at a time, because they buy fleet, they buy, for their businesses. So they're going to lose those customers. And I think it's very short-sighted of them to do this, and they're going to suffer. Plain and simple. If GM doesn't make them suffer, the customer is going to make them suffer. So I think it's horrible. Let's see, Carrie, do you think some of the options... Oh, I'm sorry. I'm back to that. Let me scroll back down here. Thank you, Mark, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Yes, I was pretty pissed. I told him to take me off the list if they're going to do that. I totally understand. I heard today they are canceling the Z06. That was a April Fool's joke. That is not true. Already hit buttons. Thank you so much. Let's see. No, canceled. It is not canceled. That was an April Fool's joke. PCCBs are no longer available for Porsche right now because of supplier issues. There you go. There's major supply issues. Major. Afternoon, Patriots. Hope everyone is having a blessed day. Thank you, Barry. Are you thinking dealer allocations might not happen until later spring? Actually, that's a great question. Thank you for the question, Derek. I will find out from my dealership the middle of this month if they got their allocation list for Z06s. I don't know. Since it's going to be pushed back, I'm not sure. And by the way, I forgot to mention this. The Mid-Engine Corvette Forum is actually going to also put up an article all about what I'm talking about because they have their own inside birdies that have been chirping to them. So you may want to check the Mid-Engine Corvette Forum. They may even have more inside info to talk about than I'm even talking about right now. So I wanted to throw that out there as well. Not the Corvette Forum, the Mid-Engine Corvette Forum. All right, let's see. Moving on to Larry. That's nothing. No, been going on for 3 years now. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Larry. Maybe the over MSRP is what you're talking about. And yes, it has been going on, but there's a lot of dealerships that have not been charging over MSRP that all of a sudden decided to start with the Z06. Is the 2022 Stingray worth buying? Love the look and price. Yes, it's definitely worth buying. Go for it, Mark. 100%. Let's see. Is this the most anticipated Corvette ever? That's actually a really good question. Thank you for that question, Will. I truly believe the C8 Stingray was the most anticipated Corvette ever. I made a prediction back in 2018 that it would be the most anticipated, highest, not volume of sales, because obviously we had these constraints, even with the C8. But I thought that it would be the top-selling Corvette of all time. I also predicted that people who had never been interested in a Corvette ever and said, I'll never buy a Corvette, would buy the C8. The Z06 takes that to a next level, to a whole new level. The C8 Z06 is that on steroids. So yes, I guess your comment is probably correct. It is the most anticipated, and it's only going to get better, ladies and gentlemen. We have the ZR1 coming out, we have the E-Ray coming out, and we have the Zora coming out. So it's only going to get better and better as time goes on. Let's see, my order, Larry says, my dealer says they will order and sell their first 10 Z06s dealer direct at prevailing prices. I'll get the 11th allocation. That's awesome. I mean, the second part. The first part, I don't like it that they're marking them up, but that it is what it is. At least they're going to get you the 11th. And I don't know if that means that they're not marking yours up, but you can let me know down below. Let's see. I have nowhere to order. Yeah, I mean, you really, if you're just now ordering a Z06, you're behind the ball. You're probably not going to get an ordered Z06. And if you do, you're going to be 3 years out. Maybe 2 at the least. That's true. Eddie made a very good comment here. If they call them 2024 models, then they are not going to be the 70th year. And we already know they're going to be a 70th year. Greg says, thanks, Mike. The sooner the better. I'll patiently wait, but I will have one of the first run Z06s. Awesome. I'm coming to your house as soon as you get it and doing a video on your Z06. Let's see. My dealer wrote wrote me up 500 under MSRP for a 2023 Stingray. Cool. Yeah, I mean, they can do a really good deal on Stingrays now. I know that dealer incentives have probably kicked in a little bit for those, but in the beginning, you couldn't get anything. Even the employees couldn't get any off. Peter says, those dealers make money despite themselves, unfortunately. Yeah. And they're making money without markups. So imagine what they're making with all these markups. All right, let me go here. Next question. Is 2023 C8 production still set to start early May? Yes. May 9th is that starting production. And they're taking orders now. So you can get with your dealership, order your 2023, and they'll get it into GM, I think, this week or next week. Any idea when the Park Assist module will be available for retrofit for the 2022s? My build date is 2/8/2022, or was 2/8/2022, and I was fortunate that the Park Assist was the only issue with my C8 production. Yes, that is a concern of a lot. I don't know if any of you know this, but Carrie just brought up an amazing point. The rear Park Assist is gone right now. Most 2022s that are coming in do not have the rear Park Assist because of chip shortages. They are telling you, though, that eventually they will have that. And I think you can just go to your dealership and they will update it for you there. So you don't have to like go and get a chip put in. They just do an update on your computer. And I think that's how it works. I'm not 100% sure on that. Don't quote me on that. But I think that's how they can fix it. They can just do an update. Derek says, pleasure meeting you, sir. It was a pleasure in my experience as well. Thank you. Can you even do pre-orders on the Z06 anymore? I mean, I don't know what you mean by pre-order, but you can't really order a new Z06 right now because, like I said, most dealers have cut that off. They have 2 to 3 years of lists. So no, I think the answer to your question is no. Why no Z06 price? That's a good question. I wish we had it already. With the Stingray, they gave us the price right away. The night that they told us or revealed the Stingray, we knew the price. So I have no idea. Let's see. Great White North says, have you heard anything about magnetic engine mounts to reduce the vibration of the motor and transmission on the Z06? Not so much magnetic mounts. More of, I've heard that they copied a lot of things from the Ferrari 458. And Ferrari came up with a really fantastic way of getting rid of the vibrations from that high revving low liter V8. It's a 4.5 liter V8, so it's a very small V8. They came up with a really fantastic way of getting rid of the vibrations, and I think GM has copied a lot of that. So I don't think we're going to have an issue with that. I hope that answers what your question was. Let's see, Derek, to your knowledge, does Rick Hendrick Corvette dealership in Duluth, Georgia rank in the top 10% of Corvettes sold at dealerships? I'm not sure about that location, Derek, but I do know that one of Rick Hendrick's ranks in the top 10. So yeah, it'd be the top 10% because they usually rank the top 100. So yeah, they're pretty high up there. They get, I think, 180 to 200 Corvettes, if not more, a year. So yes. Let's see. If I'm waiting, thank you, Sean, for your super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's see. If I'm still waiting for a 2022 Stingray, can I hope for a summer delivery? I was originally told to expect around Christmas. If your dealer hasn't contacted you yet to say that you have to move to a 2023, then you might be getting your 2022 sooner than later. But I would call your dealership and ask them, why haven't you contacted me about moving to a 2023, or, am I getting a 2022? I've never heard, I'm sorry, I had never even considered a Corvette till I saw the C8. I just took delivery of mine 3 months ago and I love it. See, there you go. Byron Matthews. Thank you for that comment. That's exactly what I'm talking about. There is a huge amount of Porsche people, Ferrari people, Lamborghini people, McLaren people. They never once thought they would ever buy a Corvette. And they have. They bought a C8. And I have emails of people telling me, I love my C8. I hardly ever drive my Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren, whatever it is they own. I still own it, but I hardly ever drive it because I like my C8 better. It's just what it is. I've driven a lot of those cars, and I like my C8 better than those cars too. And I get a lot of looks just like those cars. So there's not much difference as far as that goes. Let's see. Thomas says, I hate thinking that the Zora is supposed to combine engine and electric motors. Looking historically at GM 15 years ago and all the electronic issues, I'd rather have the ZR1. I totally get that. But I think with their technology today, it's totally different. We can't look at 15 years ago. I think it's going to be amazing. I think the Zora is going to be a hypercar. And if I ever get a chance to own one or drive one, I feel like I'm going to have a fantastic experience. So I can see your concern, but I also think it's going to be fantastic to drive and to see. I think it's going to be the coolest looking Corvette we've ever seen. By the way, thank you so much to all the thumbs up squad out there who have smashed that thumbs up button already. And thank you to all of you who are going to smash it now. Give me a big thumbs up. All right. Mike, does your cheek still hurt? What a great video idea. Thank you so much. Yeah, this cheek is, or actually it was this cheek. This cheek is still a little bit sore. Thanks for asking. Let's see. Route to make $1. Now they're not thinking about later. They're going to screw themselves. I agree, Stephen. I totally agree. It is a short-sighted way of thinking. I thought I read an article that the Z06 was going to be canceled. Robert, that was definitely an article that you read, but it was an April Fool's article. They're not canceling the Z06. Peter says, Byron Matthews, well done. You won't regret it. Let's see. That's too far back. I can't look that far back, so not sure what you're talking about, Peter, but maybe I read the comment and it was a good one. Nova says, what would you recommend a C8 Z06 owner do with their car? Hide it, never drive it, take it out all the time, take it to car meets, etc. I would recommend you drive it all the time like I drive my car. I'm going to be driving my C8 Z06. I'm going to be taking it to meets. I'm going to be taking it to the store. I will put groceries in the trunk and the frunk. I will be driving it all the time because that car is going to be even more fun than my C8 Stingray. And my C8 Stingray is fantastic. It is a blast to drive. If you've never driven a C8 and you're about to get one or your order's going to come in sometime soon, just get ready. You're going to not want to get out of that car. With the exception of neighbor Mark, you're not going to want to get out of that car. You're going to want to drive it constantly. So get ready. You're going to have fun. Thank you for the comment. I am number 12 on the list, hopefully by next summer. Heck yeah. I'm not sure how big your dealership is. It sounds like you have a small dealership, but I hope you get it soon. All right, let's get down to the latest comments here. The Really Reels says that's correct. The dealership will retrofit those items. Great live. Thank you. All right, let's move on to the next two topics. I've answered a lot of questions. Now, for those of you who do not know what CTF means, it means Captured Test Fleet Vehicle. And to break that down to everybody who doesn't really understand what that means that GM employees have started driving basically pre-production models, but they're pretty much full production C8 Z06s. So they're not the ones that, you know, you see in camo. They're not those test vehicles. They are actually production Z06s, and they're in full color. There's no camo on them at all. Well, there's a video out there that someone got that they actually saw Tadge, who is the chief engineer for GM, in a torch red Z06. So a lot of people, when they heard that news and saw that video, they automatically assumed, and this includes YouTubers, which is fine. I automatically assumed this too, that the Z06 was closer. We were getting closer and closer to hearing more news about like pricing, production, all that stuff. And it is good news that we're seeing the engineers and the GM employees driving these CTF Z06s. However, it's not changing the facts now. And I shouldn't say facts. It's not changing this new info. It's not fact because GM hasn't said it's fact. But it's close to being fact. So I'm anxious to hear when GM is going to put out their information. I think I probably will hear back from this contact, and maybe, again, the Mid-Engine Corvette Forum will put out some more information about when we will hear more from GM on production status. But in the meantime, seeing these CTF cars is good news. It means that GM is making strides. They're accomplishing what they're supposed to be accomplishing to get us this Z06 and get us it quicker than, you know, we would have had it if we weren't seeing these cars. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is there was a rumor going around about the carbon fiber wheels. And I want to see if any of you guys have heard about this. I have not heard any information from my contacts about this, but I heard this rumor and it sounded pretty legit. So I want to see if you guys have heard the same thing. But I've heard that dealerships are being, they're kind of in a pickle with the carbon fiber wheel because GM has been told by the production company who's making that carbon fiber wheel, which I think it's Revolution. I can't remember the name of the carbon fiber company, but they've been told by them they only have enough material to make X amount of wheels. So GM took that information. They figured out how many Z06s they were going to be able to make with carbon fiber wheels. And they wanted, for some reason, to get the carbon fiber wheels out of the way first. So they told dealerships, if you have, for example, 10 Z06 coming in, and you have 10 people on a list, and let's say the first 5 people don't want carbon fiber wheels, and your dealership is only going to get 5 C8 Z06s with carbon fiber wheels, then we're going to give you those first. The first 5 Z06s you get are all going to have carbon fiber wheels. So if the first 5 don't want them and the last 5 do, the first 5 have to go to the back of the line and the last 5 get to come up to the front of the line. So it's going to screw over anybody that thought they were going to be at the front of the line for their Z06 based on carbon fiber wheels. Now, a little bit of that makes sense, but for the most part, I think that's just crazy. But again, this is coming from a few dealerships. So I'm anxious to see if you guys have heard the same thing. And if you have, let me know. I'm going to scroll down to the new comments. Let's see. I see a comment here. Is neighbor Mark getting a Z06? He is not. He doesn't really have an interest in the Z06. Let's see. Peter Carey says these pre-production vehicles will eventually be sold, but you have to know a guy to get one, unfortunately. That's partially right and partially not right, and I'll explain. In 2020, there were dealerships who actually got pre-production cars, and it was kind of like a first come, first serve basis with those cars. Actually, Chevy dude got one or two of those cars, and he put a post up and said, hey, I got these cars, come get them while they last. And they were, obviously gone instantly. But yes, for the most part, you're going to have to know a guy. But there are going to be YouTubers out there who get the information and say, hey, if you want one of these pre-production cars, the time's now. Call, give me a deposit, and it's yours. So yes. Sorry, I have bad allergies today. If I sound all stopped up, I am. Let's see. Joseph says, Cadillac Blackwing orders did the opposite. Those not opting for carbon fiber packages got moved to earlier build post. And that's exactly what should happen. Great comment, Joseph. I don't understand why you would do the opposite here. I don't understand why you would think that you would penalize someone who does not want the carbon fiber wheels. Those things are going to be very pricey. And I would say that most of the population is not going to want them. So most of the people that are ordering the Z06 are going to not want that carbon fiber wheel. So I don't know. I hope that doesn't happen. And maybe all dealerships won't do it. Maybe they'll say, no, GM, we're not doing that. Sorry, we're not doing that. We'll see. Good comment. I believe Barrett Jackson will be auctioning off the right to the first production Z06 at 4:30 this Saturday, 4/9/2022. Carrie, I am unaware of this. I actually thought that happened with Rick Hendrick a month ago, and it sold for $3.6 million. So I don't know. This is news to me. I had no idea about that. Can you get CF wheels with the 70th anniversary package? Great question. I would say GM would be pretty crazy not to allow that. So yes, I would think you could probably get those. Like I said, I think GM would be losing money if they said, nope. If you order the 70th anniversary, we don't want your $10,000 or $20,000, whatever they're going to charge for those carbon fiber wheels. So I think odds are good that you'll be able to get them, yes. Thomas says, as far as the carbon fiber wheels, I just want to know what they're going to be asking for these things, as well as all the other carbon fiber options. Agreed. I do too. There's rumors of 10,000. There's rumors of 20,000. Who knows? I'm extremely interested in getting carbon fiber throughout the entire car, outside and inside. I'm not super interested in the carbon fiber wheels. I will tell you that right now. I'm more interested in getting just basic wheels and then going back through maybe, Black Diamond and getting some really nice looking wheels from them. So that's my plan. Peter says, but Chevy dude knew a guy and some of the big YouTubers know a guy. Yeah, you're probably right, but I don't even think it was Chevy dude that was able to get those cars. I just think the dealership, it was a luck of a draw thing with that dealership and with other dealerships. But I don't know. You could be right. Either way, they will be available at dealerships at one point. Let's see. Derek says, I am number 80 on the Z06 list at Rick Hendrick in Georgia. I was advised I should expect a 2023 because he suspects many will drop off the list once they see pricing. Thoughts? Very good comment. Excellent comment. Yes, I would agree with that 100%. Most dealerships are expecting this. They're expecting when the price comes out, especially for all of the add-ons, people are going to see that this Z06 is going to cost some big money. So there are going to be people that fall off the list. And then you're going to have dealerships that come up with, huge over MSRPs, and people are going to fall off those lists. And if you're willing to pay a little bit over MSRP or a huge amount over MSRP, some people just aren't willing to do it. So they're going to drop off the list very quickly. Kerry Glock, Barrett Jackson already sold. Yeah, that's what I thought. It sold for actually $3.6 million. Let's see. Z06 isn't being made. Yes, it is. Robert, that was a April Fool's joke. It's still being made. Let's see. Barrett Jackson auction off the first Z06 hardtop convertible. Oh, okay. So it's going to be the first hardtop convertible. Now that's a difference. I bet that thing sells for almost $4 million. That's cool though. I can't wait to see that. In case you're keeping track, Mike, 201 watching. Hey, I like the numbers. Yeah, I see them right over here in the corner, and I like them too. By the way, if you haven't smashed that thumbs up button, please do so. I highly, highly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. Service and parts are where they make money. They do. I agree. Let's see. Carrie says, oh, that's maybe what I heard. A convertible Z06 is auctioned. Sorry, Rick Hendrick did get the Z06 for 3.6. This Donovan says Z06 starting price will be $91,480. Not sure how you came up with that, but I like it. Let's roll with that. You know what my prediction is? I'm saying anywhere between 91 and 93. I really believe it's going to be on the 93. And the reason why I say that, if you didn't see my last video about pricing, is because I believe there's going to be a $30,000 delta between the 2022 model and the 2023 Z06. And right now, the 2023 Stingray and the 2023 Z06. And what is the starting price for the 2023 Stingray? $63,195. So what are we going to expect the Z06 to be? $93,000. And I think they'll make it probably $92,995 or $93 on the dot. All right, let's see. What do you think will happen with the Stingray in the next 5 years? The C8 gained my interest in vets, and I'm coming from much more affordable cars, but I want one badly. In the next 5 years, the C8 Stingray is going to definitely level off. It's going to start depreciating normally. I'm not sure when it's going to happen. With this new news, and when GM comes out and states for sure that we're going to be waiting until August for the Z06 production, C8 pricing is going to go back up. The value of that car is going to start heading north again because people are going to say, okay, well, I need a C8. And the supply versus demand is going to be back to lower supply, more demand. What's up, Mark? Definitely will have to click the button to add carbon fiber wheels because I'm number 4 at my small dealership and do not want to get pushed back another year. Yeah, and that's the thing. If my dealership says, by the way, you're going to have to get carbon fiber wheels, then I'm going to say, okay, I'm getting carbon fiber wheels. I'm going to pay the extra 10 grand. It sucks, but I'll do it. And then you know what I'm going to do with those wheels? Take them off and sell them. Get my 10 grand back. Simple as that. All right. Car is canceled, really? No, it's not canceled. It is not canceled. That was an April Fool's joke. It was a crummy April Fool's joke, but most are. What degree of window tinting do you expect for the 2023 Z06, sir? I'm not sure what you mean. They never come tinted. You have to do that yourself after you buy it. Not sure what you mean. My thumbs are getting numb, but here you go. I love it, Peter. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mark says Z06 starting coupe will be $86,995. I hope you're right, Mark. I really hope you're right. But I don't think that's going to happen. By the way, real quick, what do you guys think of my pictures in the background? I know you guys have seen these two. But Peter, if you look in the comments, Peter Carey, this amazing man, he is the one. Actually, I should be pointing at this. Actually, no, I'm doing this all wrong. Sorry, guys. There you go. This picture right here, it says Ron Fellows on the side of that car. You probably can't see it, but that's me in my Ron Fellows C8. I sent Peter Carey that picture, and guess what he sent me back? That amazing poster. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Peter. What do you think, though? I like the wall. Looks good. All right, let's see. Kia Stinger, goodbye. 2022 GT all-wheel drive. Yeah, get rid of that and get yourself a C8. Some new chips plants are getting constructed in Texas. Samsung and Texas Instrument and Intel somewhere around Detroit up north. Hey, I'm all for that. I think we've made a big mistake by letting all of these chip factories be overseas. Why wouldn't we have our own factories here so that we can kind of control things if there's disasters like we've had? And I think that's super smart. Let's build some factories here. Not only will it help this car issue, it'll help computers, it'll help cell phones, it'll help all that, and it'll give thousands of jobs to people. It's a win-win-win-win situation. Other than Z07 and carbon fiber wheels, what are the options that get you up to the 140, 150,000 level pricing? Good question. Well, 3LZ is going to be expensive. Obviously, the carbon fiber, the Z07. And convertible. Convertible might be more expensive than you're looking at for, a convertible on a Stingray. You might, on the Stingray, it's $7,500. On the Z06, it could be $8,000 to $10,000. Who knows? But yeah, that's another one. So convertible, Z07, 3LZ, full carbon fiber interior, full carbon fiber exterior, and the carbon fiber wheels. That's going to be 140, probably mid 140s. See you later, Peter. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Love having you on these. Yeah, worst joke ever. I know. That's how these things go, though. Let's see. I noticed that the price difference between C6, C7, Stingray 3LT, and base Z06 is $17K. Price difference. So if a C8 3LT is $74,000 plus, 17 is 91. Yeah, I mean, you can go off of that, but every year, or not every year, every generation of Corvette, there's a bigger delta between the base model Corvette and the base model Z06. So if you follow that, I actually have a video on my channel that I did a couple years ago that showed the delta between the C5 base model and the Z06. the C6 base model in the Z06, the C7 base model in the Z06. Every generation, it got higher and higher and higher. The C8's not going to be any different. And I'm predicting a $30,000 delta. That's why I'm predicting $93,000. But we'll see. I could be completely wrong. Thank you for the Corvette World videos. I bought the Darth Vader black, and black one. Sweet! Awesome, Oscar. You're very, very welcome. That car was fantastic. I hope you enjoyed that little Darth Vader clip that I put in there. Man, what a beautiful car. Congratulations. You are going to enjoy every moment of that car. I'm jealous. I love that car. Let's see. Love them. Will the Z06 come with ceramic cover? No. Ceramic is never done to any of their cars, so no. Don't expect that. It's not going to happen. Your dealership will offer that to you before you pick it up, though. But I would never go with the dealership's option on that. Let me give you a piece of advice. Do not let your dealership touch your car other than to take the wrapping off of it. Don't let them clean it. Don't let them wash it. Do all that yourself when you get it home, or let your detailer do all that for you. They will put scratches in your paint. Don't let them do it. Oh my gosh. Joseph says, I just saw a new video of a Z06. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I almost read that wrong. Spotted on the street, red. Yes, that was Tadge Juchter in his captured test fleet vehicle. Gene says, when will your next meet together and where? Probably Buc-ee's, and I'd say probably in the next week or two, we'll meet up at Buc-ee's again. The weather's absolutely amazing here in Texas, so yeah. With all the EV junk on the horizon, I see the higher performance gas vehicles continuing to bring premiums at auctions, in my humble opinion. I totally agree, Thomas, 100%. Let's talk about Paragon Performance and what they are doing with the C8. Yeah, I mean, I've heard they're doing great things. I haven't really looked into it too much, but right now, it's hard to get any kind of performance out of C8 without messing with your check engine light. So I'm not sure what they're doing. You can explain in the comments, but they have definitely locked the C8 up big time. Let's see what time we have. 5:40. I'm going to start wrapping things up, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I hugely appreciate each and every one of you for everything you do for the Brink of Speed channel, the Brink of Speed community. I couldn't ask for a better community than you guys. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for all of your questions. Thank you to every single person that, sent me money today with the super chats. I hugely appreciate it. Thank you for all of your thumbs up. Thank you for all your comments, your shares, all of it. From the bottom of my heart. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time talking. I appreciate each and every thing that you guys do for this channel. And by the way, I really am considering, I've said this before, but I am considering doing a more often live stream. What I'd like from each and every one of you guys is topic discussion, topics. So if you want to email me and say, hey, I'd love to have a live stream on this so we can get all of the community involved, just shoot me an email. It's very simple, bos2020c8@gmail.com. Shoot me an email. Let me know what you want to talk about, and we'll discuss it. Yeah, we'll do live streams more often. I love it. I've always loved them. I've gotten away from them, and I apologize for that, but let's start doing them more often. It's so much fun. Thank you so much, Gary. I appreciate your $20. Thank you so much, and thank you for saying what you said. I absolutely appreciate it. So again, I'm going to sign off. You'll have some really great content coming your way. I'm editing a video right now from a really cool meetup that I did over the weekend. And yeah, that's next. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I hope each and every one of you has a wonderful rest of your day. If you haven't subscribed to the Brink of Speed, make sure to smash that red subscribe and bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. I will see each and every one of you, hopefully soon, out on the road.